If you guys are lacking coins for all the new cards that are coming out right now, then check out U7Buy with the link down below. They're the cheapest place for coins, FIFA points accounts, and much more. And don't forget to use code KURT for 5% off. What's up guys, Curtis here and welcome to a brand new FIFA 17 video. Today we have this week's Futchampions squad. As I'm sure you guys have noticed, at the time of me recording, Futchampions actually hasn't started for this weekend yet, but by the time you guys are watching it, it should have done. So this week, for the weekend league, there are no entry requirements. I had a pretty cool Free Nation squad last week, but this week we have something very, very special. Now, previous weeks, I'm sure you guys have seen me use some of these very interesting players like Ibra. I use a lot, obviously not that version of Ibra. There's a few little spoils here which you guys might notice, but we used the player of the month, Hazard, Sterling featured, Son even featured at one point. A lot of really cool players, but today none of those are in, and I feel like I'm really striving to have my best possible squad. Now, I've taken a few hints from what some other guys do, particularly the pros. I'm trying to base a lot of my game around the pros for this week, or something they do. So to start off, I'm going to quickly say the squad will start in this 4-3-2-1 formation, but once I kick off, I will change it so it's the other way, isn't it? The 4-1-2-1-2 second variant. I'll change my team to this, but I'll show you what it will look like before and after, and we'll also get some instructions going because I haven't actually put them on for this team yet. So first things first, we'll start with our goalkeeper, and that is going to be, this week, Hugo Lloris. I think I've used Hugo Lloris on another weekend. He suits this squad. He's the one right player that actually works for this squad. But based on what you'll see in a second, I could also use Petr Cech. So depending how Lloris does for me first 10 games, we'll maybe mix it up. I also am I spent my entire budget on this team, and if there's if I make 10k throughout the weekend, which I obviously will, I may go for a change in one of my players. But anyway, let's get on with it and I'll talk to you about that in a sec. So this is going to be the first weekend I've actually used Walker. Every weekend I've played, I've used Hector Bellerin. So it's going to be a first time I'm making the change over. It's 5 less pace, but I mean, other than that, Walker kind of has every other stat on Bellerin, and the 13 physical for me I think will be really important. If I start to struggle with them, then I may just ditch Walker, but we'll see how it starts off. Okay, so the first of the two centre-backs, we're just going to switch it to BPL, is going to be Laurent Koscielny. Now this again is, like I said, it's going to be one where I've used him a few times, I like him, but after 10 games I may switch it out. And depending on how Walker's doing, how everything's going on, we may end up putting in Chris Small in there. But I'm going to start off with this and we'll see how it gets on. But Koscielny's impressed me all the while I've used him. I used him last weekend. I used him a few weekends ago as well. I'm keeping this card just so I don't have to I kind of like to keep cards if I know I'm going to use them again, which is why I've kept Bellerin. He cost me 22k. I've used him for 174 games. I'm never selling this card. It's probably the most I've ever used in a particular card on FIFA. So my next centre-back is going to be a new addition to the squad. Last week in the Free Nations thing, I actually had Sergio Ramos as my left centre-back. But since then, we have a new guy that's basically come out of the team of the group stage sort of thing. This Rafael Varane card looks outstanding. I wasn't too sure about it at first. I picked him up for 155k. But looking at his stats, 80 pace is ridiculous. 89 defending, 83 physical, and he's also 6'3". So he's got a bit of height that we're missing out on. He's a very good player. Those stats look ridiculous. I'm going to give him again probably the first 20 games. If we're struggling, then we'll just switch it up. There's plenty of other ways I can mix this team up too. But our left back is once again going to be Jordi Alba. I think for the third weekend in a row, I've gone with Jordi Alba. I really do like this card. I did sell him because I was going to try and use Alaba, but it just didn't work out for what I was planning. Great card. 93 pace, obviously, it's one of the quickest on the game. Dribbling, all his other stats are great. And maybe if we have a good weekend or two, we may upgrade to his in-form card. It would be ludicrous. So, let's just set it to French and get a few of these guys in. So we've obviously got Kante and Paul Pogba. For those of you guys that don't know, I actually packed Kante the first weekend of the game. And I packed him and I was like, that's pretty cool. An 81 rated ones to watch. Probably won't get any informs. Well, he got the inform 24. He's now 400k. How mental is that? That I packed this guy just as a standard, oh, nice little pull. 400k. Probably one of the best pulls I've had this year, simply because of the fact of how influential he is and how everyone wants him. And then we have Pogba, who I have also packed at some point this year. It's the second. I've just bought him back again for this weekend. I didn't have him last week, but I've got him again this weekend. And obviously, you guys are going to see the formation will be changed slightly soon enough. But there are two centre mids. I'll explain the decision behind all of them when we change the formation. The left centre mid is going to be Luka Modric. I feel like he looks very well-rounded. I'm going to see how I get on. Maybe switch to James Rodriguez, depending on how Modric does for me. But his 72 defending and just nice, well-rounded stats really impressed me. And I had Iniesta on that left side last week, and I actually really liked him. So we'll see. There's loads of different choices I could pick from, but Luka Modric is going to be our one for now. Right forward is actually, it's going to be a bit of an unusual one. This is going to be a player that I didn't think I'd ever use in the Futchampions squad, but you're going to have to wait and see until I move the team around before you judge your opinion on it. But that is Moussa Sissoko. So obviously he's not going to be staying in right mid. It was dirt cheap, so you don't even consider that. But we're going to talk a bit more about him shortly. One of our strikers is going to be Antoine Griezmann. I used him last weekend. I enjoyed him very much. And then we're going to have Cristiano Ronaldo as our left forward. He is my new purchase. I bought him last weekend. First weekend used him. I'm glad I did. One of my favourite players on the game. But let's look to how this squad will actually look like in game. So once the game started, I'll go into the things and change all these players around so that we can get maximum chemistry out of the squad. So this is what I'm going to actually go for when it comes to starting it. I may switch these two, Kante and Sissoko, depending on which one I feel. If I feel like I need that height from Sissoko or what, because Sissoko is 6'2", whereas Kante, of course, is only 5'7". So if I feel like Kante gets overrun, we'll do that. So the back four, you guys obviously all know. But Kante is 83 defensive, great physical. He is like a perfect defensive mid other than height. So maybe he'll swap out for Sissoko. But Sissoko is ridiculous, really. Those stats are so well-rounded, everything over 72. He's 6'2", which is crazy. Work rates are solid. He's going to be bombing up and down that side. I think I'm going to be really impressed with him. Modric, obviously, I've explained it to him. And then Paul Pogba, I'll obviously, I'll get the most out of him in cam. That's just the way it goes. He's fantastic in that position. He's one of my favourite players. 6'3", 5-star skills. He's got it all. He's an absolute proper flashy player. And his stats, I tell you what, Sissoko's aren't that much worse. That's how much I'm going to rate Sissoko this weekend. And then Ronaldo and Griezmann up top. Nothing more needs to be said. I scored a lot of goals last weekend with Griezmann getting like the deflections off Ronaldo's shots, like bounce backs, all that sort of thing. So that's the starting lineup we'll go to. Obviously, I'll switch it to 4-3-2-1 so for when we go in, so that we get the best possible chemistry that we can, so that we don't miss out on much. So I'll be setting my player instructions from in the game, so I'll show you what they would look like had we finally changed it. I don't know why I switched it back, because that just makes it more work for me. But what I would do in game is my usual thing with the two fullbacks with the player instructions. I have both on stay back while attacking. I don't want them going forward. I never do. I'm going to actually say for this week, I'm going to say for Kante to cut passing lanes and he has to stay back while attacking. I want Griezmann to do something a little bit different for me as well. I want him to stay central. I want him to get in behind. You always want that with, like, that player for me, he's the get in behind one. And I want him to do aggressive interceptions. I want him to try and press the back line a lot. It's going to be interesting. I've never tried this before with one of the players to have, like, everything so one-dimensional. But I think it'll be really interesting to try and have, like, one quick player up top. Griezmann can score goals. He's got a lot of pace. He's got a bit of physicality. And I think it's going to be interesting to see exactly what he does. Ronaldo, sometimes I change it up a little bit. Sometimes I put him on getting behind, sometimes balanced. Usually balanced, though, because I like him to also be able to come to the ball because he's so good on the ball. And then other than that, there's not really too many more changes for that. You can get Pogba to have a bit of free roam, depends what you fancy. I also sometimes like to tell him to stay forward, depending on how the game's going. I probably will start off with stay forward, but we'll see. I'll change it all when I first load the game up. And then we have custom tactics. Obviously, first one you have to draw your eyes to is you want that to be on cover. You want the defender line to always be on cover. I always lower the pressure because I feel like I get done way less by through balls. If in that case, I try kind of lower my defensive one down a little bit. Passing, I like to bump up a bit because I do like to pass the ball around a lot. Crossing, I don't really use too much, so I keep that about the same. And I also want build-up play and speed to both be like 5 higher. That's usually what I go for. That's not the be-all and end-all. I'm sure what you guys should do, what works for you. I've also, like, I haven't really done it much lately, but make sure you do your player roles, because if you build a squad like I have in this case, it's not going to give you what you want. So for me, you probably want someone like Modric on it, free kicks. That all makes sense now. You want to do that because the amount of times I forget and I end up having like Jordi Alba or someone that like just someone you don't want on all of your like corners and set pieces, make sure you change that. That will affect your gameplay a ton. But other than that, that is pretty much all we have for this week's Foot Champions squad. Let me know what your ideal Foot Champions squad is in the comments down below and what you would change in this squad if you had the choice. A few of these are a bit experimental with the likes of Modric, Sissoko. Gonna see what it's like, see how we get on, mix it up a little bit. If I struggle, the team may change completely. Who knows? If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe if you're new around here. We'll probably lose subscribers on YouTube the way YouTube is working. Every time someone uploads a video, they lose subscribers. How is YouTube so broken? Who knows? Like I said, if you guys enjoyed this video, smash that like button, sub if you're new around here. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you all next time. Bye, guys!